Week 6 in Indiana, Week 5 in the state of Michigan. Time for your high school preview. Look who showed up to work this week. It's Bob Nagel, everybody. Good to have you.
Great to be back with you, partner, and looking forward to a good week.
Well, it should be, and up in Michigan, I'm looking forward to talking about this battle of the unbeatens between Waterville and Marion Springs on Friday night at Sylvester Stadium. Both these teams 4-0. Waterville doesn't get a lot of pub around this area, but man, do they have a great passing attack.
They have a great quarterback in Tyson Williams, who's done a great job. Roger Harden among the wide receivers. And they've got a lot of people that are contributing. Beerholder's also doing a great job catching the football. And defensively, they've come up with a solid attack.
Yeah, they've only allowed 20 points on defense in the last 3 games. But Elliott Uzelak and the Shamrocks are also 4-0. And they've got a pretty nice quarterback as well. The defense for Elliott's team has been pretty good, although their pass defense at times is a little bit suspect. That's got to worry them. But Tyler Ewald's been a nice all-around threat at quarterback.
He has been, and Jamal Haley's done a nice job for them as well. And again, Chuck, this is a team that can play defense, that can also score on defense, and that's been helpful to them.
But as I mentioned, Marion Springs struggling a little bit with pass defense. We'll see how that plays out Friday night at the beautiful, fairly new Sylvester Stadium. Now, let's come back into Indiana. North Judson at Culver Academy. The Blue Jays suffering their first loss last week as they fell to Tippecanoe Valley on homecoming at Liberty Field. And Brett Lambert will try to shore up things on both sides of the ball. It'll help if his special teams can play like this, and it helps when you have Cheyenne Allen.
I'll tell you what, Cheyenne Allen is a playmaker. There he goes, catches the ball and gets where he's gone. And they've also got an outstanding quarterback in Aldrich Harper, who also plays defensive back. And this is a 1A team, Chuck, so you're going to find some guys, a lot of guys going both ways on this team.
Yeah, and that might be tough against a big physical CMA squad. Andy Dorrell's team smarting after back-to-back losses to Hobart and Brebeuf.
And they're a Class 4A team. They've got better numbers, and again, they've got some outstanding talent. And when you look at, in fact, they've given up 146 points. Their defense has to get better. But Jimmy Pisani, pretty good quarterback. He's very elusive, and Jackson Mull's doing a great job. Craig Thomas. This is a team that has a lot of talent. And they've looked good at times.
You mentioned that 146 points, though. 124 in the last 3 games. CMA better shore up the defense a little bit on the shores of Lake Maxinkuckee. Let's go into the NIC. A couple of teams trying to cling to league hopes, meeting in the NIC Big School Division. That's New Prairie at Adams. This game might be done in an hour and a half. They both love to run the football.
They do, and the thing is, this early in the season, you're really looking at a game that's going to decide who's still in contention in the conference. But New Prairie has gotten a nice job from Marshall Kamichek at quarterback. Noah Mungia is probably the top running back in the area, if not in the state. He's well over 1,000 yards already. Davian Ortman is doing a good job on defense, and I think they've got a young man named Whitenack that they run behind, which isn't a bad idea.
Only a D1 commit at the University of Illinois. Now, Adams, though, Bob, was manhandled by Marion last week, losing 35-3. Only 114 yards total offense, so obviously Antoine Jones has to fix that.
They do, and we keep waiting for Tornday to really break out. He's had some good moments that we've seen him on TV 46, and James Williams is a quality tight end for him, a good prospect to throw to. Adrian Petty is one of the guys in defense, but it's a very young defense. Now, their only losses are to Marion and Northridge. Nothing shameful about that, but they've got to get a little bit better.
New Prairie, though, 4-1. Adams 3-2. Good matchup there. The headliner in the NIC, though, is over at Atulski Field, where Penn, only 1-4 overall, but 1-0 in the NIC, goes to visit a resurgent Marion team. We saw the Kingsmen last week on TV 46, and Bob, I was so impressed with the defense of Corey Yeoman's team against Elkhart.
Well, and he really shut the I would say the Blue Blazers down, but the Lions got shut down, and Penn's always been able to count on a solid defense. And then, you look at Hardrick running the football. He is a very quality running back, and they're getting a nice job from Ryan Buckley at quarterback. And when you look on the defense, you see names like Paquette and Aaron. These are veterans who Corey Yeoman can count on.
But it's a much bigger challenge this week taking on this Marion team because as opposed to when we saw Marion early in the year, Tell you what, Bryce Lesane has found his groove with the passing game. He's been over 200 yards in each of the last 2 games.
Yeah, I think there was a situation there where obviously you're going to have a new quarterback after Maddox Begonia Bright graduated last year. But it's sort of like Bryce Lesane said, this is my job. And he stepped up the last couple of weeks. And, of course, Caden Losanga's given him a nice look running the ball, and Mike Murphy in the backfield as well. And the defense behind guys like Setefano Sete have been doing a nice job. So Marion was 0-2, and now they're 3-2, moving in the right direction.
By the way, should Marion win this game, they will have back-to-back wins over Penn for the first time since 1972-73, which is known as the post-Nagel era at Marion. 2 really good games in the Northern Lakes Conference this week. We'll start at Jake Field, Mishawaka at Concord. For Keith Kinder and the Cavemen, yes, they're still without Justin Fisher at quarterback, but the little brother Brady has done a nice job filling in.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Brady and his big brother had worked out together, had worked through some things together. And although he might not have been thinking this is his year, it all of a sudden is. But he's got a great backfield. He's got wonderful running backs in Gooden and Hardy. And this team keeps getting better. Burris on offense and defense, a big contributor. And I think as long as they run that style of offense that Keith Kinder wants them to do, they're going to be successful.
Keith Kinder will tell anybody who wants to listen, and not many want to Keith, that his defense has been outstanding this year, and really the shining spot. Keegan may be the leader in tacklers. Concord, Bob, is 4-1. And I always feel like the Minutemen leave a lot of points on the board. They're averaging 23 a game, but you look at Hunter Dutton and this offense, they've got weapons.
Yeah, he's a veteran quarterback, and he's done a nice job for them. He's got a couple of outstanding receivers in Marion Moore, and Darcy's an outstanding receiver. He's got a good running back, and they've gotten a good performance this year out of Titus Hackworth. And then you're wondering, like, that you've got everything you want offensively, and yet they've had trouble scoring. But they've got some defense that's really been playing well.
Well, the defense has really carried the day for the Minutemen, and Zavin Koltukian is the state's leader in sacks and tackles for loss. He had 5.5 sacks last week against Goshen. That's like grocery day for the Nagel family.
And keep in mind that he's also playing some downs on offense. So
Sure.
This guy is on a big size school is a two-way performer and doing it very well on both sides.
Should be a very interesting battle in Dunlap, and we're looking forward to bringing you an NLC battle on TV 46 as Elkhart County rivals Northwood and Northridge renew their hostilities. Nate Andrews now with 100 wins as a head coach. Picked one up last week for Northwood against Wawasee. They're 3-2, but Bob, they're only 4 points away from being undefeated.
They are, and 2 losses to Logansport by 3. Logansport is ranked, and then they lost in overtime to Concord. So a team that, again, not too far from being undefeated. Caden Lone's doing a nice job running that offense, and I'm really impressed with the progress of Ethan Evers, not just this year, but the last couple of years he's become a quality player and a quality running back.
And a quality defender as well. Evers leads that team in tackles. They're only giving up 15 points a game. They'll face a Northridge team that looks a lot different than the one we saw on TV 46 last year, where we show you these highlights. But if you take a look at Northridge, the big question mark going into the game is quarterback. Micah Hostetler is still hurt. Connor Roth gets his second game as the signal call.
Yeah, they've had a lot of problems with the quarterback situation this year, but they're trying to work through it. But, Ridge Howard leads the defense out there for Northridge, along with Tag Gott, who's also a tremendous performer on offense. And Connor Roth gets the call this week, and he'll have to shore things up and get some points on the board if we're going to handle Northridge.
So who will be the King of the North in Elkhart County? We will find out live on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45, and then you can watch it again on TV 46 Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. We will see if we can coax 2 consecutive days of work out of Bob Nagel.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, thanks for joining us on social media.